Hello, and how are you guys? It's your boy Dave Partner, and today I'm gonna be teaching you Chinese language, and it's the first course in the series. In this course, we're gonna go into the basics, and I'm going to be teaching you the Chinese language using a writing system called Pinyin. Pinyin is a romanticized way of writing the Chinese language. That is basically using English alphabets to write the Chinese words instead of using the Chinese writing characters. And the reason is that since this is your basics, your first course, I don't want to clutter the course, so I'm using the English alphabets to write the Chinese characters for you so that it will be easy for you to understand and pick up. I figured out that this is the best way to teach Chinese. So you cover this course, you learn it. Then as the course progresses, we'll gradually start introducing the writing system, the Chinese writing system, and it will all be sweet. All right, so what are the things you're going to learn in this course? The first thing you're going to be learning in this course is you'll be learning the tones, how to pronounce Chinese words. I've realized that so many courses on the internet just make it difficult to learn Chinese because they don't start at the right part. The right part is that you should be able to look at a Chinese word and pronounce it correctly like a native. You understand? If you can get the pronunciation, then you've covered like 20% of the language. The rest is easy if you can always pronounce a word well, because Chinese language is a tonal language. The language it has tones, so the way you pronounce a word determines what the meaning will be. So a word can have 3-4 different meanings depending on the way you pronounce it. So this is the core of the language. If you don't get the pronunciation right, forget it. You're not getting the language. And I tell you, this is the most spoken language in the world. Many people don't even know that. There are more people speaking Chinese language than any other language in the world. Alright, so I'm going to teach you the first tone, the first way to pronounce the words, the second tones, the third tones, the fourth tone, and then the neutral tone. There's a tone that most courses online don't mention. It's called a neutral tone. And there are so many Chinese words you pronounce with a neutral tone. And I'll teach you how to pronounce those words. So, and after that, there are some combination rules. There are just about 3 rules you need to master. You need to know whenever you're looking at a Chinese word and 2 tones are standing side by side each other. I will teach you that. And then there's a lot of practice. I know I've realized over the years that the best way for students to learn is that they are able to practice alongside the teacher. You understand? So there's a lot of practice in this course. So at the end of the day, you finish learning this course. Once you're done with this course, you're done. There's no let me get back to this course and then figure things out all over again. So the practice sessions help you to perfect your understanding of this course. All right, and then a little about me. My name is Dave Partner, and if this is my first course you're taking, I might be new to you, but if you're one of my 50,000 students on Udemy, then you would have understood my system of teaching and would have appreciated my method of impacting knowledge. So if you go to this address on Udemy, you will see I've made so many courses in different fields, and I have thousands of students, thousands of reviews. So I believe that this is one of those powerful courses you will take and you'll be really happy to recommend it to someone else. Alright, so and of course I'm on YouTube. I've made over 1 million views on YouTube, and this is the address. If you go to your browser and type this, you will see me on YouTube. Now about you, I hope that this particular course is the basics. That is, you've never heard anything about Chinese language, you've never learned anything. This is the place to start. This is the course to take, and I hope that at the end you will be able to say, yes, I've learned some things in Chinese language. Thank you very much. See you as you sign up for this course, and don't forget to leave a review at the end. Good day and welcome to your first Chinese lesson. In this lesson, I will try to start from the very beginning and clear out all the quickie parts of learning Chinese so you learn the very basics and understand the approach we are taking. I've learned over time that this is the best way of teaching the language. First of all, I want to introduce you to something called pinyin, and it is a way to write Chinese language instead of using the traditional Chinese writing characters. It is mostly used if you want to teach uh, foreigners Chinese, or you want them to be able to learn, to be able to read Chinese writings using Roman characters. So the Roman characters are the alphabets A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H till Z, and then a combination of them. So Pinyin is the most common way to romanize Chinese Mandarin letters. Pinyin is the foundation of Chinese pronunciation. It will benefit you in many ways. Example, this is what I mean. This is English. It says hello. In China, if you want to say hello in China, you say ni hao. But this is what it looks like, the writing. As you can see, if you're just learning Chinese, you signed up to this course, you see that this is difficult to read because you don't really know what it is. This means ni and this means how. And many people who try to teach Chinese use this method, which makes it difficult to even learn. We will introduce and explain this writing further down the course in subsequent courses. But in this course, we want to use Pinyin, and as you can see, it is easy to read ni, how. Another thing you want to note about Pinyin is that it specifies the tone. Chinese is a very tonal language. If you pronounce something wrongly with a different tone, it's going to mean a different thing altogether, as we are going to see in this course. So you need to pronounce things correctly. It's almost like learning music notes. So if you already understand music, this might be way easier for you. But at the end of the day, once you get the flow, it becomes so easy. So all these little accents at the top tells you how to pronounce them. So that is why I didn't call it ni hao. I call it ni how, because I'm looking at the accent. The accents tell me how to pronounce it. And that is where I want to start in this course. We're going to cover these accents first. I see many Chinese courses, they try to start from somewhere else. It's very poor. If you start from the accent and master the accents, you have covered 20% of the language, because the rest will be easy, super easy for you to read, write, and understand. All right, here is a brief history of the Pinyin. To Wikipedia, Hanyu Pinyin, often abbreviated Pinyin, is the official romanization system for standard Chinese in mainland China and to some extent in Taiwan. It is often used to teach standard Mandarin Chinese, which is normally written using Chinese characters. The system includes 4 diacritics denoting tones. These tones is what we will cover in this first part of the course. The system includes 4 diacritic denoting tones. Pinyin without tone marks is used to spell Chinese names and words in languages written with the Latin alphabet, and also in certain computer input methods to enter Chinese characters. So once I teach you how to use English alphabets to write Chinese, which is basically what Pinyin is, you will see that the rest of Chinese, learning your Chinese will be so easy. All right, so see you in the next video where we go straight into Pinyin. Here is a quick recap of what we studied in the last lecture. We studied that Pinyin is the most common way to romanize Chinese Mandarin characters, and we saw an example of Pinyin, and we said that this is English, hello. In China, the way you say hello is ni hao, but in Chinese writing characters, it is written this way, and this is Pinyin, which we will be learning in this video and this course. In subsequent courses, we'll gradually get into this so that it will be very easy for you to understand. So in Pinyin, different tones can give a word different meanings. For instance, this tone ba is 8, and this is ba. means to pull up. This is ba. To handle, and this is ba, which is dad. You see, depending on how you pronounce it, it's going to give you a different meaning. So what we're going to be learning is these four tones. These are four tones. We'll learn how to pronounce them. Once you master them, the rest of learning Chinese is easy. So here is the course for today, which is tones in Chinese language. There are four main tones in Chinese language, even though there is a fifth one that is called the neutral tone. That neutral tone doesn't have an accent above it. All right, so let's look at the four tones. A quick backtrack of what we just saw. You see that each time we wrote this vowel, we have an accent on top of it. Look at these accents. You see these accents. So these are the accents that we just highlighted here to teach you how to pronounce them. So there are four tones. This is the first tone. It is called high and level, and it is pronounced don't worry, I'll give you the secret to remember some of this. It's pronounced and then this is the rising tone, pronounced and this is the fall and rise tone, pronounced and then this is the falling tone, pronounced and this is the neutral tone, pronounced ah. Okay, so let me give you the secret to remember some of this. All right, we're going to use the vowel A to pronounce this, even though you can use so many other vowels. There's U, there's E, there is A. There's so many vowels that we can use, but I'll use A for this. And so once you see a vowel with this high and level or first tone, you pronounce it and here is the secret. The secret is simple. It's like saying when someone asks you a question and you're trying to figure out the answer and you say that's what it is. That's how you remember that the first tone is it's high and level. So that's all right. And then the second tone is like saying what? English, once you want to remember the second tone, you remember the word what, like you're like an exclamation, what? So this is and this is and this one is the word you use to remember it is really, because it's a combination of this second tone and the fourth tone. See, the second tone is rising and the fourth tone is the falling tone. This is the rising and the falling tone, that's the third tone. So the word you use to remember it is really. When you want to ask someone a question and you don't believe what they say really, really, really. All right, and the third tone is you use the word damn. Damn is the falling tone, start from up, damn, then goes down, damn. Damn. So once you see it in any word, any word that has a vowel and that vowel has this falling tone, remember the word damn. That's how you pronounce it. Damn. We'll see some words shortly. Damn. All right. Then this last one, it looks like this one, but it's cut short. Sort of looks like the first one, but it's cut short. Remember the first one is what? The last tone, the neutral tone is This was this one is you see? All right, so time for practice. So repeat after me. The first tone, let's go again 3 times. 3 more times. The second tone, 3 times. Let's go again 3 more times. So here is the third tone. It's pronounced, it sounds like really. So let's go again. Let's Let's go again 3 more times. Ah, ah, ah. All right. So to give you a quick example of this tone, that was the first word. That's the tone on the first word I showed you. Remember that hello in English in China is pronounced ni hao. See, ni ni hao ni hao ni hao ni hao. You see. It's that easy. So the last tone, the fourth tone goes like damn, ah, ah, ah. Repeat after me, ah, ah, ah. So whenever you see this in a word, just think of the word damn, ah, ah, ah. And the last one is ah, ah, ah. Like I said, it sounds a bit like the short form of the first one, even though it's not exactly the same. As you will see as we test more words or practice more words, you see that it's not exactly the same, but that is the way to remember it, that it sounds like a shortened form of this. Ah, ah, ah. Okay, so let's see in the next video. Alright, here is a quick recap of what we did in the last video. In the last video, we saw that different tones can give a word different meanings in Chinese language. Unlike in English language, that you barely have a tonal difference in words. Alright, so we saw an example of ba, then which means 8. We had the example of this, ba, which means to pull up, and we had the example of ba, which means to handle, and we had the example of ba, which means dad. Ba, dad. All right. So we moved on to the next, and we saw the different tones in Chinese language, and we saw that there are 4 tones, and there's the first tone, the second tone, the third, and the fourth. And we saw that the first tone is the high and level, the second tone is rising, the third tone is the combination of the second and the fourth, which is fall and rise tone. And the fourth tone is the falling. The fifth tone is the neutral, and we saw the secrets to knowing how to remembering them. And the secret we saw was that the first one sounds like when you ask the question, you say and the second one sounds like what, that's a rising tone, and the third tone sounds like really, really, Then the fourth tone sounds like damn, damn, and then the last tone sounds like a shortened version of the first tone, which is The first tone sounds the last tone sounds Alright, so in this video we will be going to some tone practice. We will try and practice some words. Here are some words that have the pronunciation of the first tone. But remember, in this video I'm trying to not clutter this course. I'm trying to declutter it and make it super easy for you to learn. So we're not introducing the meanings of these words yet. We just want you to get how to pronounce them. Once you understand how to pronounce them, then we can go ahead and start gradually introducing the meanings of these words in a way that it will be very easy for you to remember. So can we pronounce these words? So let us call each of them 3 to 6 times each so that you can get it. The first one is ma, 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 ma. So can you guess what the second one is? Try and pronounce it yourself before I come with my own pronunciation. So let's go. Yi, 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 yi. And the next one is le, 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 le. The next one is ho, 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 ho. The next one is bo, 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 bo. The next one is con, 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 con. The next one is now, 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 now. The next one is you, 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 you. All right. So in the next video, we'll see the pronunciation for the second tone words. Remember to always repeat after me so that these things will become part of you. And like I said, if you can just master the pronunciations, you've done 20% of Chinese language. You become a pro much faster than your mates. See you. Here is a quick recap of what we did in the previous video. In the previous video, we tried to pronounce these words and just to practice. And we said that the pronunciations are ma, ma, yi, yi, le, ho, bo, con, now, you. All right, hope you got that. So let's go to some second tone words. And the first second tone words are the same words we saw, but they have different meanings once they are given a new tone. So can you guess what the pronunciation of this is? Remember that to remember the second tone words, you just need to remember the word, the English word, what? What? So here we have ma, yi, le, how, bo, con, now, you. All right, so let's pronounce each of them six times each. Ma, 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 and that's it. All right, let's go for the second pronunciation. Yi, 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 yi. Let's go for the third one. Yi, le, 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 and le. Let's go for the fourth one. Ho, 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 ho. Let's go for the fifth one. Bo, 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 and bo. Let's go for the sixth one. Con, 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 and con. Let's go for the seventh one. Now, 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 and now. Let's go for the eighth one. You, 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 and you. All right, so I hope you're getting it. So here is a quick practice. Remember the first tone words. Let us see if you can remember to pronounce this. Try and pronounce it yourself right now. Ma, ma, ma. Compare it to ma, ma, ma. Let's go again. The second word. Yi, yi, yi. Let's go. Second tone. Yi, yi, yi. Third tone. La, la, la. And the second tone here we have it at la, la, la. And the fourth word we have how, how, how. And in the second tone here we have how, how, how. Bo, 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 bo. Con, 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 quand, now, 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 you, 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 you. All right. See you in the next video where we'll look at the third tones. So today, here is a quick recap of the things we saw in the last video. In the last video, we practiced second tone words and we pronounced them ma, yi, le, how, bo, quand, now, and you. And remember that the word we used to remember them is what. In English language, once you say what, you follow the tone. Now here we're going to look at the third tone words. And remember the word we use in English language to remember them is really, really, Alright, so let us pronounce this just once each, and then we come back and pronounce them 6 times each. And the first one is ma, yi, le, how, bo, quand, now, you. So let's go 6 times each. Ma, 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 ma. All right, second one. Yi, 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 yi. The third one. Le, 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 le. Fourth one. Ho, 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 ho. Fifth one. Bo, 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 bo. Sixth one. Quand, 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 quand. Sixth one. Now, 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 now. Seventh one. You, 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 you. All right. So can we compare it to the second tones? The second tone we learned in the previous video. So let's say ma. So this second tone here is ma. This one is ma. Yi, 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 yi. Le, 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 le. How, 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 how. Bo, 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 bo. Quand, 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 quand. Now, 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 now. You, 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 you. All right, see you in the next video where we look at the fourth tone and then we see the final tone. Thank you. All right, here is a quick recap of what we did in the last video. We looked at the third tones and we said that the word in English language you will use to remember the pronunciation of the third tone is what? Really, really. And we used it to practice all these words and we went like ma, yi, le, how, bo, quand, now, you. All right, so let's look at what we have for this video, and that's the fourth tone words. Remember that what the fourth tone words, we use the word damn to remember it. Damn. The way you say damn in English language, when something goes really wrong, you say damn. Or if something pinches you, you say ow, ow, damn. So it depends on which of the words that you can always use to remember it best. I like to use damn to remember it. So once we see this tone on top of a word or on top of a vowel in P, we will automatically know that it's going to sound like damn. All right, so let's pronounce this once each. Ma, yi, le, how, bo, quand, now, you. All right, so let's go 6 times each. Ma, sorry, ma, 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 ma. And the second one, yi, 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 yi. The third one, le, 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 le. Notice that I'm not pronouncing this as le, la, le, or something. I know it's It's not ah, it's You kind of use the base of your voice, the inside of your mouth or your throat. Le, le. Okay. How, 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 how. So how do you pronounce this? Bow, 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 bow. How do you pronounce this? Con, 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 con. How do you pronounce this? Now, 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 now. What of the last one? You, 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 and you. All right, so let's compare to the third tones. Third tone reads ma, 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 yi, 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 le, 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 how, 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 bo, 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 quand, 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 now, 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 you, you, you. You see the difference? All right, so see you in the next video where we'll look at the neutral tones and try to pronounce them. So here is a quick recap of what we did in the past video. In the previous video, we looked at the fourth tone words and we looked at their pronunciation, and we remembered that the English word we used to remember their pronunciation is damn, damn. So let's look at these words and pronounce them two times each. Ma, ma, yi, yi, le, le, how, bo, bo, quand, now, you. All right, just a quick test. How do you pronounce this in Chinese language? How do you pronounce M-A with this accent? Remember, the word is really, so you do really, really, which is ma, ma. So how do you pronounce this word on the second tone in Chinese language? Remember, the word is what? What? So you go ma, ma, yi, yi. And what of the first one? How do you pronounce this? Who remembers? Can you give it a try? Remember that the word we used to remember it is the like someone asks you a question and you're saying so it goes like ma, ma, yi, le. So if we go back a little, we'll remember a quick recap of this. There's a reason I'm giving you this recap, so that by the time we go to the neutral tone, it will be easy. All right. So a quick recap of what we saw here. We saw that whenever this accent is above A and is flat like this, it is the high and the flat accent, and it's pronounced ah, ah. And then we saw the rising tone, which is the second tone, and is pronounced like what, ah, ah. And then we saw the third one that is a combination of the second and the fourth tone, and is pronounced like really, really, ah, ah, ah. All right, then the last tone or the fourth tone is the falling tone and it's pronounced like damn or ouch, ouch, damn, damn. All right, so the pronunciation of this will now be ah, ah, ah. Then we saw the last tone that doesn't have any accent is a neutral tone, and the closest thing we could use to refer to it is that it sounds like a shortened or starved version or choked version of the first tone. Remember, the first tone is ah, but this one is ah, ah, ah. All right. So let's in the next video we will see the pronunciation of the neutral tone, some of these neutral tone words. Alright guys, a quick recap of what we did in the past videos. In the past videos we saw a quick recap of what we did in the past tones. So we saw the first four tones and how they are pronounced. We said the first one is which is ah, the second one is what, which is ah, the third one is really, which is ah, and the fourth one is damn, which is ah. But the last tone is a little tricky, which is just a shorter form of the first one, which is this is this is all right. So let's go and see. So can you now pronounce what M is using the last tone, the neutral tone? Of course, you got it. The pronunciation is ma. All right. The second one, the second word we'll be looking at is LE, which is l. All right, now the issue at this point is that, as you can see, these are words that contain more than one syllables. All the while we'll be dealing with single syllable words, the pronunciation of single syllable words. But in this last one we've introduced some double syllable words. You see, this is double syllable BO and ZI, and this is HOU first syllable, ZI the last syllable. This is YI first syllable and ZI the second syllable. Chinese words are mainly made up of syllables. Even in the writing, each writing is basically just a syllable, like sometimes or most times. If we look at what we had here, you see that this is a syllable and this is a syllable. So ni, how. So that's how Chinese words are generally structured. Each of the writing is a sort of syllable. Alright, so now we're looking at the neutral tone. The way you pronounce this, there are rules. The neutral tone is easy to pronounce, but there are rules when it's being combined, or when some of the tones are being combined with other tones. So for instance here, we see that just before we see the last tone, which is the neutral tone, we are seeing the third tone, which is yi, yi. So if you wanted to pronounce this normally, it would be yi, z, yi, z. In Chinese, you don't pronounce Z as Z, you pronounce it as TZ. Z, t, we'll get to that. So this is pronounced yi, z. But it's a wrong pronunciation because there is a rule that states that the last neutral tone is going to change if it is preceded by a third tone. Same thing with these two. The last tone is going to change if it's preceded by a second tone. So those are the rules we'll be looking at in the next video. But just know that if it is not preceded by any of these two, then it's just going to sound like the short form of the first tone, which is ma, l, ma, l. All right, I'm going to just give you a tip or an example of what I mean by pronouncing these words. Like I said, normally if you follow the rules I've given you in the past, it's just going to sound like yitz, yitz, but that's not how it sounds. These people pronounce this word yitz, yitz. See, yitz, that's how they pronounce this word. It sounds yitz, yitz, but this one sounds haozi, haozi, haozi. This one sounds bozi, 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 haozi, yitz, 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 ma, ma, hozi, hozi, yitz, yitz. You see that the last pronunciation, the neutral tone is changing because it's being affected by this. Alright, so in the next video, I'll teach you this rule. Like I said, once we're done with that rule, we're done with the pronunciation aspects, which means you now know the basics of Chinese pronunciations. The rest will be damn easy. The rest of this course will be very easy. All right, see you going forward. All right, so just a quick recap of what we did in the past video. We practiced some tones and we mastered the first 4 tones and then the 5th one. And here is just a short practice before we move on to what we have for this video. So this is the first tone with the flat, is high and flat. Second one is a rising tone. The third tone is a rise and fall, and the fourth tone is a fall tone, and the 5th tone is a neutral tone. So let's try and pronounce them. Can you pronounce this? How do you pronounce this in Chinese? Ma, and this one goes for what? Ma, what? Ma. This one goes like really. So ma, ma. Can you remember this? This one goes like damn, ma. And this one goes like ma, ma. So let's go again, 3 times each. Ma, 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 ma. You see, that's easy. Let's look at another word, ba. Ba means 8. Ba means to pull up. Ba means to handle, and ba means dad. And there's ba. All right, so let's go 3 times each. Ba, 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 ba. So that's awesome. Hope you get it now. So now there are 3 main rules for when the tones are standing next to each other in a word. So if you're looking at a word that has one tone and then another tone is following it, there are 3 main rules, because the first tone usually changes the next tone following it. So we're going to see the first rule. It says that when there are 2 third tone rules in a row, the first one becomes the second tone. So you know we have 4 tones and the 5th neutral one. So the third tone is the rise and fall. So this explains that when the rise and fall tone is following each other in a word, the first tone, the first rise and fall changes to the second tone, which is just a rise tone. I will show you the example shortly. So this rule is always followed automatically, even though it will not be reflected in the pinyin. So when writing the pinyin, you see, it will be written normally as third tone. Look at it, third tone, ni, hao, ni, hao. That is the way it is written, but in the pronunciation, the first third tone changes to the second tone, which is, you see, rising tone. You see, rise and fall changes to rising. You understand? So let me try and pronounce this the way it is written now. It's called, remember that the second tone is what? What? The third tone is really. So this will sound like what really? Ni hao, ni hao. Here, according to how it is written here, it should be ni hao. But here it is ni hao. So that's how to say hello in China. Ni hao, ni hao. You understand? So that's it, ni hao. So anytime you're reading pinyin and you see these 2 tones standing next to each other, the first tone has to be pronounced like the second tone. You see, the first third tone should be pronounced like the second tone. So instead of calling it hen hao, we call it hen hao. So it's actually hun hao. Hun. Instead of calling it hun hao, we call it hun hao. Hun hao. That is what really? What really? Hun hao. So here is this one. Instead of calling it how dong, we call it what really? How dong? How dong? All right, let's go. 3 times each. Ni hao, ni hao. Ni hao, that's hello. Hen hao, hen hao, hen hao. How dong, how dong, how dong, how dong. You see, it's that simple. That's the first rule. There are just two more rules, and we're done with the whole pronunciation. And you see that you've mastered it, all right? So see you in the next video. Alright, here is a quick recap of what we did in the last video. In the last video, we looked at the first tone rule, and we said that whenever two third tones are following each other, the first third tone changes to the second tone. And we gave example with this. And we said that even though it is being written as this in pinyin, but when you want to pronounce it, you convert the first one to the second tone. And we said instead of calling ni hao, you call it ni hao. Ni hao. This one becomes hen hao, hen hao. Note that I'm not saying hen hao. It is not, even though it's written e. There is a way you pronounce e in pinyin. You call it not e. It's o. So this is hen hao, hen hao. And this one, instead of calling it hao dong, you call it how dong, how dong. That's what really, how dong. Hen hao, what really, ni hao, what really. All right, so remember the words that will help remind you how to pronounce these words. All right, so in this video we're going to look at the second tone rule, and the second tone rule says when the word bu means no or not in China. When the word bu precedes a fourth tone, changes to this changes to the second tone. Bu, say, remember that this is what? Bu. And here is damn, bu, bu, bu. So it said when bu is following a fourth tone, it changes to a fourth tone. This rule is always followed automatically, even though it will not be reflected in the pinyin. So when you're reading it, you'll see it written this way, but because it's following the fourth tone, you pronounce it this way. So let's see some examples so that you understand. So this is written, this is bu, dui, damn, bu. So it's damn, bu, dui. See, bu, dui. You understand? Bu, dui, damn. But because this word is following a tone, a fourth tone, it changes to the second tone. It becomes bu, what, damn, bu, dui, bu, dui. You understand? So anytime you see the word bu, and you get to see it a lot because there are so many negations. This is the word that kind of negates words in the Chinese language. So once you see that, you should just pronounce it. So a word like this with two fourth tones following each other, the first one changes to second tone, especially if the word is the bu word. Instead of calling it damn, bu, dui, you call it bu, dui, what, damn, bu, dui. This one becomes bu, q, bu, q. I may not have taught you, but in the Chinese language, the q is pronounced as q. You understand? So this is q, not ku, as you would have been tempted to do to pronounce as in English. So this is pronounced some sort of as ch, not exactly, but sort of ch, right? So this would be pronounced what, damn, bu, q, bu, q. All right. So and the last one is two fourth tones, but you pronounce it as second tone and fourth tone. That is bu, so, bu, so. So in pinyin too, this C you pronounce it as TS. So. Whenever you see C in Chinese, anything we're doing, once you see C, you pronounce it as TS. We're getting to that, but I just want to pre-introduce you to that. So this is bu, so, bu, so, bu, dui, bu, dui, bu, q, bu, q, bu, so, bu, so. So that's the second tone. I'll see you in the next video. So generally, this might seem like a lot to learn, especially if you're taking these videos straight up from video one. But I want to assure you that as you go forward, it will start to gradually become part of you as we practice more words, as we see meanings of words and start constructing sentences, beautiful sentences. You will see that all this is super duper easy because you've started from the most technical part. This is just the this is technically the most technical part. So that's why I put it first. Once you master this, everything becomes interesting. All right, so the next one we're looking at is this is just a recap of what we did in the past video, where we say that the second tone rule is that whenever the word "bu" is following another word that has the fourth tone, the "bu" changes to a second tone. And remember, second tone is "what," and the fourth tone is "damn." So the word sounds like "what damn, bu dui, bu dui, bu chu, bu chu, bu chu, bu so, bu so, bu so." Right? So let's say the last tone rule, and it says the character yi. Remember that this is how you pronounce it. Yi. We practiced this some time ago. Yi. So say the character yi meaning one. So yi is the number one in Chinese. We'll get to some of the videos. Will teach you Chinese counting where you do yi, san, like that. So say yi. So the character yi meaning one is the first tone when alone, second tone when followed by a fourth tone, and fourth tone when followed by another tone. This rule is always followed automatically, even though it is not reflected in pinyin. Pinyin is the written one that we're doing now. All right. So there are two things to note here. Normally, when it's on its own, you'll see it is yi, 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 like you, as if you want to say evening, evening, all right. So when it's alone, it's pronounced e, but whenever it is followed by a fourth tone, just like when we saw in bu, once there's a fourth tone, it changes to the second tone. It becomes what? Yi, 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 and then it becomes a fourth tone whenever it's followed by any other tone. So let's see some examples. So this is for counting. Like I said, this is the number one. I'm trying to avoid to give you the meanings of these words so that I don't clutter the whole course. So, but we'll gradually start introducing meanings in the next videos. All right. So this is written. If you want to pronounce it normally, to be damn, damn. So it goes like yi ge, yi ge, yi ge. But that is a wrong pronunciation because it's being followed by a fourth tone, so it changes to the second tone. So the correct pronunciation should be yi ge, yi ge, yi ge. What damn, what damn, what damn, yi ge. So this one changes to yi, yi zi, yi zi, yi zi. Remember I told you that C, whenever you see C in this course, just know that it is pronounced as TS, zi. And then that's it, yi zi, yi zi. This one becomes yi ban, what damn, yi ban, yi ban. This one becomes, remember that it changes to second tone only when it's fourth tone. Now it is being followed by something else, it will stay in the fourth tone. Remember the fourth tone is damn, first tone is so this will sound like damn, damn, so which is yi ban, yi ban, yi ban. And the next one becomes yi mao. So this is, remember what, damn. So this word will sound like damn what, yi mao, yi mao, yi mao, yi mao. And then this one will sound like, remember that the way we pronounce the third tone is really. So this word will sound like damn, really, yi bai, ri bai, yi bai. So let's go three times each. And like I said, don't worry about all this. It's good that I just tell you the rules, but as we practice further, as we start seeing meaning of these words, it will start connecting. You just see it even without thinking, you pronounce it correctly. You're going to get to that stage but it's good that we just introduce the basics. All right, so this is what? Then yi ge, yi ge, yi ge, yi ge. This is yi ci, yi zi, yi zi, yi zi, yi zi. And this one is yi ban, yi ban, yi ban, yi ban. And this one is dan, dan, yi ban, yi ban, yi ban, yi ban. And this one is damn. What? Damn what? Yi mao, yi mao, yi mao, yi mao. So this last one is damn really, yi bai, yi bai, yi bai. So that's it, the end of tonal practice in this course. And we might just have to look at some consonants, like I was just saying, how you pronounce C and how you pronounce Q. I just mentioned it stylishly in the previous video and in this video. We'll just look at that. There are just about 4 or 5 of them that you should know how to pronounce whenever you see them, and that marks the end of your tonal practice. Then we can start going to look at sentences, beautiful sentences like I love you, sentences like I like to eat Chinese delicacy, and the name of your country in China, and some tools that you could use that could help you to always quickly translate Chinese phrases. And we can also look at Chinese culture and basic greetings. A beautiful language, very beautiful. All right, so see you in the next video.